Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. We will officially open this meeting of the Illinois Board of Review for today, May 25th, 2023. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, please note that everyone has been muted because we need to reduce the amount of distraction that often happens, background noise, etc. Also, if your matter is called, your address or your name is called, and the designation is that your case is moot or moot complied, that means that you are excused for today. The matter has been resolved. If you don't understand what those terms mean, please call the administrator, LNI, and they will explain it to you. So you won't have to disrupt the balance of the hearing today for an explanation. But I'd ask that you will pay close attention because most of the cases today have been resolved and they have a designation of moot or moot complied. We do have at least 2 interpreters who will be with us today. And so all of those who are participating in a matter that has an interpreter, what I'd ask is that you be very patient, you speak and then stop, allow the interpreter to interpret on behalf of the appellate, and then the next person will be allowed to speak. Please try not to speak before the other person has completed his statement or her statement. That way we can get a clear record and we will have a fair hearing for both the appellant and the city, and we will be able to resolve the matters as quickly as possible. Thank you so much. At this point, the board and the other panelists will introduce themselves, after which the law department will read into the record a number of cases that have been resolved. I'm Kenneth Woodson, board chair.
Ralph Pincus, board member.
Steve Pettit, board member.
Cortez Patton, board member.
Hillary Emerson, board counsel.
Mr. Wade.
Richard Wade, board administrator.
Thank you very much. Okay, so who will be reading off the list into the record for the law department?
Good afternoon, Chairman Dejanay Davis on behalf of the City of Philadelphia. I'll be reading those into the record today.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Davis. At your pleasure, at your leisure.
Okay, starting with case number 1, appeal number HA 2021-001186, address 8425 Walker Street, appellant Wu Zhao Sheng, moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Case number 2, appeal number HA-2021-001259, 7815 Missioner Ave, appellant Jeanette Hill Self, moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Case number 3, appeal number HA-2021-001278, address 4907 Valley Street, appellant Joseph Headleg. Moot complied.
Thank you, moot complied.
Case number 4, appeal number HA-2022-0012.
I think there's a correction. My sheet is showing 2021.
I'm sorry, you're correct. You're correct,
Okay.
Chairman. I'm gonna read that again. Case number 4, appeal number HA-2021-001288, address 7423 Belden Street, appellate Jinshai Zhu. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. That case is moot complied.
Okay, just spell that name for the record, please.
Yes, for the record, the spelling of the appellant's name is Jinxia, last name Zhu.
Thank you.
Case number 5, appeal number HA-2021-001312, address 6343 Edmund Street, appellant Walter Ulatowski, moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Case number 6, appeal number HA-2021-001331, address 1515 South 5th Street, appellate Justin Shao, moot complied.
Moot complied, thank you.
Case number 7, appeal number HA-2021-001393, address 2319 South Krosky Street, appellant, appellant name Gao Ming. For the record, I'm just going to spell it Qiu, middle name Guo, last name Ming, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 8, appeal number HA-2021-001501, address 7207 Summers Road. Appellate Candace Gary Grace, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 9, appeal number HA-2021-001541, address 2990 Church Street. Appellant 1982 Broadway Associates, moot complied.
Okay, I think that number is 1892 Broadway Associates.
1892 Broadway Associates, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Case number 10, appeal number HA-2021-001554, address 7170 Erdrich Street. Appellate Fabienne Desrosiers. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. For the record, I just want to spell it Fabienne, last name Desrosiers, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 11, appeal number HA-2021-001556, address 4556 Sheffield Ave. Appellant Celia Lay Wali, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 12, appeal number HA-2021-001600, address is 2190 Church Street. Appellants are 1892 Broadway Associates.
Thank you.
Case number 13, appeal number HA-2021-001617, address is 2559 North 30th Street. Appellant Marlene Casado, moot complied.
Mr. Chair, the list shows the address as 2450.
2459 North 30th Street.
Okay, all right, thank you.
My apologies, please bear with me.
Yes,
Case number 14 on the list, appeal number HA-2021-001620, address 5100 Grays Ave. Appellant 1892 Broadway Associates. Moot
moot complied. Okay,
complied, yes.
thank you.
Case number 15, appeal number HA-2021-001658, address 6508 Lipkin Pike. Appellant Willie Hardy, moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Case number 16, appeal number HA-2021-001701, address 1741 South 23rd Street. Appellate Darlene Grant, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 17, appeal number HA-2021-001723, address is 11803 Academy Road. Appellate Wooden Keys Condominiums, moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Case number 18, appeal number HA-2021-001743, address is 2334 78th Street. Appellate Shireen Atkins, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 19, appeal number HA-2021-001746, address 1409 North Hollywood Street. Appellant Hagop Keshishian. For the record, I just want to spell it HAGOP, last name KESHISHIAN, moot complied.
Moot complied. Thank you.
Case number 20, appeal number HA-2021-001763, address 527 East Wyoming Avenue. Appellant Muhammad Lamy, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 21, appeal number HA-2021-001838, address 3116 Whitehall Street. Appellant Frankfurt Ave Development, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Case number 22, appeal number HA 2021 001901. The address is 553 East Wyoming Avenue. Appellant Charlie Cho, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 23, appeal number HA 2021 001905. Address is 1847 East Cornwall Street. The appellant Frankfurt Ave redevelopment, that is moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 24, appeal number HA 2022 001975. Address is 402 South 43rd Street. Appellate is Gangwu and Zhongyin Liao, last name Liu, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Case number 25, appeal number HA 2021 002071. Address is 305 East Wyoming Ave. Appellant Mark Feynman, moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 26, appeal number HA 2021 002120. Address 2238 Fraley Street. Appellant Walter Yotowski, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Case number 27, appeal number HA 2021 002134. Address is 2000 Welsh Road. Appellant is Dawn Tancredi, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Case number 28, appeal number HA 2021 002146. The address is 515 through 517 West Erie Ave. Appellant is Gilbert Alvarez, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Case number 29, appeal number HA 2021 002183. Address is 2424 78th Avenue. Appellant is Gavin Lawson. Case is moot complied.
Thank you.
Case number 30 on the list, appeal number HA 2021 002396. Address is 1119 West Wyoming Ave. Appellant's name Kimberly Jenkins, moot complied.
Move complied. Thank you.
Case number 31, appeal number HA 2021 002454. Address is 9501 Clark Street. Appellant's name is Nasi Bakhan. I'm gonna spell it for the record, because I don't want to butcher it. And I apologize if I've done so far. The appellant's name spelling is Nasibakhon. Last name Kuanova, moot complied.
Thank you.
In case number 32 on the list, appeal number HA 2021 002459. Address 6837 Algard Street. Appellant Walter Yotowski, moot complied.
Thank you.
And I would also like to draw the board's attention to, I want to jump to case number 38 on the list.
Okay, 38.
Appeal number HA 2023 000063. Address 521 North 41st Street. James Jankwitz. That case has been, there's a city's continuous request as we are unable to have a witness available for today.
Okay, is anyone present representing 521 North 41st Street?
It was also my understanding that the appellant had no objection to this continuous request as well.
Okay, just want to know if she's present or anyone representing that address or James Jankowitz. No one?
He responded to the email saying no objection. to the
No
petition.
objections? Okay, thank you. We'll note it as continued. Thank you.
And same thing for case number 38, appeal number HA 2023 000065.
That's 39. Okay,
39, yes, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
If I misspoke.
okay. And what about the other matter that's in that same appellant's name?
Yes, a case 38, 39, and 40 are all the same continuous request by the city.
Okay, let's do this so that the record is clear. Just give us the appeal number and we'll note it as continued, okay?
Okay, yep. Case 39, appeal number HA 2023 000065. City's continuous request with no objection from appellant.
Okay,
In case number 40, appeal number HA 2023 000069. Address 1618 North Sydenham Street. That is also a city's continuous request with no objection from appellant.
okay, thank you very much. They're all noted as continued. Okay,
And, yep, and the next two cases, case number 41, 42, I'm going to read those into the record, but those are also for the same, with the same attorney and appellant. That is the appellant's continuous request to which the city has no objection.
okay, read it, just give us the information needed and I'll
Yeah,
inquire as to the appellant's presence.
so case number 41, appeal number HA 2023 000225, address 3227 West Oxford Street. Appellant is Simiano Construction Company.
Okay, is anyone present representing Semiano Construction Company or Victoria D. Green Esquire? Okay,
So there was an email exchange with the board, CC'd on the email with the continuous request that the city responded with no objection.
okay, all right, thank you. And does that also apply to number 42?
Yes, 40, yes, that also applies to case number 42, appeal number HA 2023 000653, address 3216 West Oxford Street.
Okay, that matter is also continued. All right, thank you.
And I'm not sure if any of my colleagues have any other matters they want to address with the board.
Okay, anyone else have a matter they want to raise at this time at this preliminary portion of the hearing? Okay, if not,
Yes,
Please.
Leonard F. Reuter, Reuter, Senior Attorney for the City of Philadelphia.
yes, sir.
I have two cases involving a joint request from the city and the appellant for continuances. We notified Board Administration earlier today about that. If I could.
Yes, please.
Sure. So the first one was number 34, HA-2022-005091, 9402 Meadowbrook Avenue. The appellant is Infinite Enterprises LLC, in parentheses is Dane Rowland, who I guess is the principal. Harry Cook is the representative of the appellant, and we jointly we're asking for a continuance in the matter.
Okay, joint continuance. Is Mr. Cook?
I
present?
told him that he didn't need to be here.
Okay,
I didn't need him to bill his client to show up for that. This is the first request. The second one, number 36 on the list, HA 2022-005211, 1712 Christian Street. It says I'm not sure if it's Made Construction or Mead Construction. I've seen both.
okay,
But that they are represented by Michael McElhaney. And same thing, he's actually taken ill, so he wasn't going to come anyway. But I told him he didn't need to be here. This is also a joint request
okay.
for continuance.
We noted as continued.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I think Mr. Johnson has his hand up.
Thank you. I'm here today on what is number 47 on today's list. the
Yes,
appeal of Saul Rodriguez
yes,
regarding an illegal dumping incident that happened at 5200 Bingham Street.
yes.
I have two witnesses from the Philadelphia Police Department here, Patrol Officer Justin Donahue and Detective Maureen Berner, it does not appear as if Mr. Rodriguez has appeared, and for that reason, we're asking that the appeal would be marked as city affirmed failure to appear.
Okay, what I'd like to do with that one, Mr. Johnson, we have a few more preliminary matters, and we will call that your case first when we get to the regular order, okay?
Thank you.
So we can allow those witnesses to move on to their regular day. Okay, Mr. Cohen.
Thank you, members of the board. Jeffrey Cohen for the city of Philadelphia. Starting with number 33, the parties have reached an agreement, and I did email the agreement earlier to Mr. Richard Wade, board administrator.
Okay,
The agreement is that the violations are city affirmed and that the total fines will be reduced to $5,000.
5,000. Okay, is anyone present representing the appellant? David McElclain is the attorney noted. Is Mr. McElclain present?
I did not see Mr. McLean present, but I
McLean.
do have a copy of the agreement that I can
Okay.
forward to Mr. Wade.
Okay, thank you very much. Then we will poll the board regarding HA 2022-002-824 2616 South 18th Street, Liberty Star Management, Inc., city affirmed per agreement, the $5,000 fine.
City affirmed per agreement with a $5,000 fine.
City affirmed per the agreement with a $5,000 fine.
City affirmed per agreement, $5,000 fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I do have two continuance requests that are both city continuance requests,
Okay,
starting with number 35, HA 2022-005197. This is Patrick Riley, but it's on behalf of Intech Construction LLC. Council is actually here, Mr. William Rathbone.
okay. Mr.
But
Rath,
this is the city's continuance request for lack of a city witness that is necessary for the hearing.
okay, Mr. Rathbone, are you present, sir?
I am present, no objections. I'd like to join the city's continuance request as well.
Okay, sir, I don't know if you entered your appearance because your name didn't show up on our list. So if you haven't, if you would do that, please.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. William Rathbone of Fox Rothschild for Intech Construction LLC.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We will note it as continue, as a joint continues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
And moving on to number 37 on the list, HA 2022-005247, PNB Partitions, Inc. This is also the same city request for continuance due to the unavailability of a witness. Newly obtained counsel, William Wright, is here for PNB Partitions.
Mr. Wright, are you present?
Yes, good afternoon. Yes, William Wright, the firm of Capehart and Scatcherd, on behalf of the P&B Partitions, Inc. We join in the city's request,
Okay.
and we also seek the same continuance.
Okay, we will note it as continues, a joint request. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kindly, members of the board.
Yes, have a good afternoon. Okay, is anyone, I don't, yes, Miss Alexandra Athanasiadis.
Good afternoon, Chairman Woodson. Just for purposes of the record, the Philadelphia Water Department has cases number 43, 44, 45, 46, and 48 on the list.
Yes,
And we are prepared to move forward. I just want to bring to the chairman's attention that 5509 Chester Avenue is owned by an LLC. So I just wanted to make sure that there is an attorney present representing the LLC.
okay, is anyone present representing David Sprittle at 5509 Chester Avenue? David Sprittle. No one is responding.
Service was made.
Service made, thank you. What we will do, ma'am, is that when we get to the list in regular order, we will call that. If he has not appeared, we will then seek your recommendation in terms of outcome.
Thank you, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, thank you. All righty. Is there anyone else? I don't see any other hands raised. Okay. All right, Mr. Wade, then let's go to regular order and call 47. Yes.
This is case number 47, hearing appeal number HA 2022-005228, 5200 Bingham Street. Saul Merce Rodriguez.
Okay.
Good afternoon. This is Christopher Johnson for the city of Philadelphia.
Okay. And I believe we have an interpreter who was scheduled to help out the the appellant. Is that true? Is there a Spanish interpreter present?
Spanish interpreter. Hello, sir. My name is Leonel and my ID is A as in Alpha, B as in Bravo 767.
Thank you. Would you raise your right hand, sir? So do you swear or affirm that you will faithfully translate from English to Spanish and Spanish to English the proceedings regarding 5200 Bingham Street?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Sir, what I'd like you to do for us is if you would announce this case in Spanish so that in case the appellant is present and not understanding.
Yes, sir. Could you repeat the name of the case, please?
The case is HA-2022-005-228, 5200 Bingham Street. Saw Merce Rodriguez.
Muy bien. Muy bien. Entonces, muy buenos días. Vamos a empezar con el caso HI-2022005-2285 en 200 calle Bingham. ¿Se encuentra el representante?
Anyone responding?
¿Se encuentra el representante?
Okay, no one is responding. Hearing no response. And what I'd like Mr. Interpreter, please interpret everything that happens from this point forward until we finish
Yes,
with
sir.
this case. Okay, thank you. Mr. Johnson, hearing no response, what is your preference?
Service was made.
Okay.
The city would ask that the matter be marked as city affirm, failure to appear.
Thank you.
Muy bien. Entonces, la ciudad le gustaría que se marcara este caso como afirmado por la ciudad por falta de, por inasistencia.
Mr. Pincus, what time do we have?
It is 1:51 p.m.
Son las 1:51 p.m.
Okay, thank you. We will now poll the board
Vamos a encuestar
regarding HA-2022-005-228.
Vamos a hacer una encuesta con respecto al caso HI-2022-005-228
5200 Bingham Street.
en la de 5200 calle Bingham
Saw Merce Rodriguez.
con el señor Sa Merced Rodríguez.
City affirm non-appearance.
Muy bien, afirmado por la ciudad, ausencia.
City affirmed non-appearance.
Muy bien, afirmado por la ciudad, no se presentó, ausencia.
City affirm non-appearance.
Afirmado por la ciudad, por ausencia.
City affirm non-appearance.
Afirmado por la ciudad, por ausencia.
Thank you very much. That resolves that matter. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter, for your presence and your participation.
It's a pleasure. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for your services.
Thank you.
And may the city's witnesses be dismissed at this time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay, Mr. Wade, I guess we're back up to 43. Yes.
Case number 43, hearing appeal number HA 2023 0006395509 Chester Avenue. David Spriddle.
Okay, anyone present representing David Spriddle? No, not hearing, no one responding. The Water Department, the attorney representing this matter is Miss Alexandria Athanasiadis. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, what is your preference? The appellant did not respond.
Chairman Woodson, the city would be requesting a city affirm based on non-appearance.
Thank you. Mr. Wade, do we have confirmation of service?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Pincus, what time do we have?
1:53 p.m.
1:53 p.m. All right, we will then poll the board for HA-2023-000639-5509 Chester Avenue. David Spittle, city affirmed non-appearance.
City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
City affirm non-appearance.
Thank you very much. That resolves that matter. Okay, what's next?
Case number 44, hearing appeal number HA 2023 000697 3216 Turner Street, Mecca Gathers.
Okay, thank you. Who's representing the Water Department?
Afternoon again, Chairman Woodson, Alexandra Athanasiadis on behalf of the Philadelphia Water Department.
Thank you. Mecca Gathers. Mecca Gathers. Anyone representing that address? Anyone representing 3216 Turner Street? If you're present, please make yourself known to us. Mr. Wade, anyone in the waiting room or on the? I'm
Someone-
hearing a
someone-
noise.
Someone had just joined, but no one under that name.
Okay. Ready?
Service was made.
Service is made. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Athanasiadis, what is your pleasure?
Chairman Whitson, the city would be requesting a city affirm based on non-appearance.
Okay. Thank you very much. What time do we have, Mr. Pincus?
1:55 PM.
1:55 PM. Okay, we'll poll the board regarding HA 2023-000-697-3216 Turner Street, Mecca Gathers. City affirmed non-appearance.
City affirm, non-appearance.
City affirm, non-appearance.
City affirm, non-appearance.
Thank you very much. That matter has been resolved. Okay, what's the next case?
Case
Mr.
number-
Chair, I'm
Yes.
sorry, before we go on, Alexandra, if you could mute yourself between the conversation, your audio is coming through when the other board members are speaking. Thank you.
Will do.
Okay, thank you.
Case number 44. I'm sorry, apologies. Case number 45, hearing appeal number HA 2023-000798, 2635 West Girard Avenue. Demetrius and Carol Haddad Diaz.
Okay, spell that last name, sir.
HATZIDAIS.
Okay, Water Department.
Good afternoon, Chairman Whitson, Alexandra Athanasiadis on behalf of the Philadelphia Water Department in that matter.
Okay, thank you. Anyone here representing the interests of 2635 West Girard Avenue?
Yes.
Yes, the owners.
Okay, would you mind giving us your names, please?
Dimitrios Hatzidais.
Okay, Hatzidais. Okay, my apologies for butchering your name. And is that also Carol?
Yes, it is.
Okay, would you both raise your right hands, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
Yes.
We do.
Okay, now what I'd ask you to do so that we can have a clear record is that if you would decide between the two of you, who will be the spokesperson? And we'd ask that person to do most of the talking. And if the other individual has some additional information to offer, that's fine. It's just that you can't do it at the same time. Because it's being recorded by the court reporter and the system. So we need you to do it in sequence. Okay.
Okay.
I do have one question. The deed on to the property in question on West Girard Avenue. Whose name is on the deed?
Both of our names.
Anyone else's name on the deed?
No.
Is it a corporate? Is there a corporate ownership like an LLC or company of any sort?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you very much. Alrighty, what we will do, the water lawyer, the attorney representing the water department will begin by presenting witnesses and or certain facts. After that, you will have an opportunity to present your story and ask questions, after which we will make a decision. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's proceed.
Good afternoon, Chairman Whitson. This matter involves a notice of a plumbing defect that was issued on January 2023. And that notice, I apologize, January 30th, 2023, and that was issued to the address of 2635 West Girard Avenue. The reason for the notice of defect was that the curb box was shifted. The city will be calling Mr. Jason Locke regarding this matter.
Okay, is he present?
Yes.
Excuse me, may I ask a question? I'm sorry. What was the, what had shifted?
Wait a minute, we'll get to that, okay? What
Okay.
we will do, just listen closely. And as we go through the testimony from the inspector and others, all that information will be made available to you, okay?
All right, thank you.
And then after the city finishes, then you can put your case on. Okay?
Understood.
All right, thank you. All righty, let's, Mr. Jason Locke, if you unmute yourself, raise your right hand so you can be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's proceed.
And by way of reference, Chairman Whitson, the Philadelphia Water Department was out there back in January 30th, 2023, for possible shut off for non-payment. That is when we noticed that the curb box was shifted and the NOD was issued. Mr. Locke, can you please state your name and spell it for the record?
Yes, Jason Locke, JASON LOCK,
And by whom are you employed?
Philadelphia Water Department,
And what is your job title?
supervisor in the DNR unit, delinquency and restorations.
Supervisor in the DNR unit.
Excuse me, you broke up.
What are your duties and responsibilities as the supervisor in the DNR unit?
Okay, what we do is we
Wait, just one moment, Mr. Locke, before you continue.
Mhm.
It appears that there's someone in your space who is having a lively conversation. So is there any way you can ask them to take it down or not? Because we can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Please continue.
The duties are what we do is go out to properties, shut off water for non-payment to residentials, commercial properties. Once we cannot receive a payment, if we can shut the water off, we do. If not, we serve a notice of defect. Varies in different defects. And the one they were given was a curb box shifted.
That's not true.
Ma'am, Madam, no commentary from anyone while testimony is being taken, understood?
Yes,
Okay, you had opportunity to share your facts at a later moment, so just hold on, just be patient. Please continue, Mr. Locke.
Now, Mr. Locke, you were not the person that went out and issued this notice of defect, is that correct?
Correct. I was not. Yep.
Pardon?
I was not. Yes.
But at some point, you yourself visited the property.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna pull up Mr. Locke, if you just bear with me. What's been previously marked as City 1. Okay. Do you see my screen, Mr. Locke?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell the board what this is?
That's a notice of defect for the supply. This is given when we can't shut off the water. And you see it says curb box shifted there to the left.
Okay. And as we stated, you were the person that issued this notice of defect, correct?
I didn't know. One of the FSRs did.
But you are familiar with the issuance of these notices of defect, correct?
Yes, I am.
And you did review this document as well as others relating to this property.
Yes.
And this notice of defect, is this record made and kept in the ordinary course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business?
Yes.
And when is the notice of defect created?
Once we come to a property. So once we came to the property to shut off the water or we get to collect the check or money order. No one was there. We're unable to shut it off. So then we give the notice out to have the customer have the curb box repaired.
Okay. And is this document prepared by someone who has personal knowledge and who records the event in regular course and scope of doing his or her job?
Yes.
And in this case, it appears it was someone with radio number 246.
Yes.
And I'll direct you to the middle of this page. Can you tell the board what's checked off here regarding the violation?
The requirements?
No, what's checked off regarding the violation?
Oh, curb box shifted.
Okay. And can you tell the board why it's important to have an operable and accessible curb box?
Yes, it's important for both customers. Any kind of internal leaks. Can't shut off at the meter curb stop, meter valve. You go to the street. Shut it off there. If could cause interior damage to the basement, adjacent properties also, if the water continues to leak.
And is this notice of defect left at the property?
Yes,
And who's responsible to maintain their curb box and curb stops?
homeowner.
And you indicated you went to the property, correct?
Yes.
You can just bear with me, I'm gonna show you something.
Mhm.
Now, Mr. Locke, can you see what I'm showing you, sir?
Yes, I can.
And is this a photograph that you took when you visited the property?
Yes,
And what was the date you went out to this property?
that was, let's see. Where we at? May 15th. I think it's,
May 15th?
yeah,
Okay.
most recent.
Okay, so that was the last time you visited this property and made an inspection, correct?
Yes,
And is this photo a fair and accurate representation of what the sidewalk looked like outside of 2635 West Gerard Avenue on
Yes, it-
May 2023?
yes, it does.
And I'll direct your attention, sir, to the bottom of the page. And
Mhm.
see some spray paint.
Yes, that's the curb box.
Okay. And did you place that spray paint there?
Yes, I did.
And is this the curb box that received the violation for being shifted?
Yes,
Okay. And sit here today, to your knowledge, this curb box remains in this condition?
yes, it does.
And the property remains in violation of section 13-502 of the Philadelphia Code, which advises that there has to be an accessible curb box?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Chairman, at this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I'd ask the appellant if either party would have questions of Mr. Locke based on his testimony.
Yes, I would.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Is there only one box for the shut off, or there are two boxes?
One curb box.
Is there another one on the other side? Because my water meter is not on that side. The water meter is on the left-hand side as you're facing the building. I do have two.
Mr. Kelly, no, sorry, sir. My apologies. I'm looking at the names on the screen.
That's
So,
fine, that's fine.
but Mr. Locke, sir, when you have an opportunity to present your case, you can make those arguments, but he answered the question. Okay. Do you have a different question you want to ask?
The fact is that my water.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying to you, those facts are facts you introduce when you make your argument.
Okay.
You have another question for him.
Just that. No.
Well, I do.
Yes.
The paper that we received regarding.
Just
the
identify
drought-
yourself so that the court reporter knows who's speaking. Okay, identify yourself, please.
Carol Hatzidias.
Okay.
The paper we received from the water department was not clear as to what really was wrong. That's number one. The other paper that that gentleman showed, I never saw that paper before. I don't know if that was supposed to.
Okay,
come
but do
to
you have a question for him? You have a question for him?
I guess not. Okay, no.
Okay, so you can present all that information as you present your case. But
Okay.
to now was just to cross-examine him based on his statements. Okay, Mr. Locke will remain. He's not going anywhere until this is over. So if he comes back, if he needs to be brought back, he'll be brought back. Okay.
Okey-doke.
Okay. Ms. Athanasiadis, any additional witnesses?
No additional witnesses, Chairman Woodson.
Okay, but I would like you though, if you would place up, do you have any graphics that would give a graphic of the shut-off box that you could share? Other than the sidewalk, and if that's the only one, if you could put that one up.
I'm happy to also share the customer responsibility chart, but to demonstrate the actual box, that's what I will show the picture then, sure.
Okay,
And I can zoom in if you'd like.
okay, we just leave it, that would be fine right there. Okay, I'm leaving it up for purposes of the appellant to share their understanding of the facts and to make sure that we clearly understand their position in this matter. So please, this is your opportunity to share with us your thinking.
Go ahead.
Number one, the water department has altered our mailing address to start with.
Okay,
Instead of mailing
That is corrected.
the bills to us at our home, it was mailed to the location, and we never received those bills.
what is the address of the property we were seeing on the screen?
2635 West Girard Avenue.
Okay, and what is what are you saying is your proper mailing address?
149 Sumac Street, which 5117, sorry.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. Say that over again. What is the proper mailing address?
5117 Rochelle Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19128.
And that's your home address?
That is my business address.
And the West Girard Avenue, what happens at that? Is that your home?
No, that is a building that we own.
Okay,
It's a rental property.
okay. And in the past, have all of your mail for this Rochelle Avenue business address, I'm sorry, for all of your business properties, wherever they may be, have they all come to the Rochelle Avenue address?
Yes, they did.
Okay, and your testimony now is that for whatever reason, mail for 2635 West Girard Avenue was not mailed to Rochelle Avenue.
Correct.
Okay, and so you're introducing that information for what reason?
Uh,
Well, that's why the account went into default.
But that
because we
isn't
weren't
why we're
getting the
here.
bills.
But we aren't here today regarding the account in default. We're only here today regarding the issue of the shifting curb box.
Okay.
Understood.
Now, we have our service to the water is not as we see it to the right, where the doorway is to the left, where the service comes into our building.
Okay, well, is the area that's marked in blue, is that within your property line?
It is.
Okay, what area of your property does that service?
We do not know what that particular curb box service, but before the building used to have 2 meters in there, 2 services. One of them was before we bought the building, almost 20 years ago. It was not servicing the building. It was shut off.
Okay.
So that is not the correct service, but the service is to the left of the building as we're facing it.
Do you have any information with you today that you can show us? Any evidence of that? Any photographs or any other documents that show that would support your statement?
Not that I don't believe I do, unless my wife does.
Okay, now keep in mind, this is your appeal. And so this is your case to prove. So if you have evidence, it would have been, it's good, you should have that be submitted when you submit your appeal.
Okay.
Did you have a plumber go out and take a look at that location?
I have not.
Okay, well, let me ask Mr. Locke, if you can call him back, please, Mr. Locke.
May I, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, may I ask, based on the statements that are being made, I have a few questions.
Yes, please.
So you said that Mr. I don't want to butcher your last name, Hasiadis. You said,
Hatzi is 2 words, Hatzi and Dais.
Hatsi Dais, Mr. Hatsi Dais, you said that your mailing address that you have with the city is 5117 Rochelle Avenue. You, in your appeal, you attached a copy of a letter that was sent to Demetrios and Carol Hatzidias on, it's dated January 31, and the address that was used on that letter was 149 Sumac Street. So and it was, I assume it was made part of your appeal. So actually you received mail at that address as well, because you were able to file this appeal. The letter that was attached states that there was an attempt to shut off the water and that the shutoff valve was not accessible. Is that correct? You received that letter that was addressed to Sumac Street?
Yes, that's my residence. That's where I live. That's where I reside.
Okay, so is that an address that's also used by the city water department for sending notices?
Not for this property.
Oh, okay, all right. Then in your appeal, you state that there was a contractor who replaced the sidewalk and in so doing did not reinstall a curb shutoff valve. So are you saying there is, you've indicated that you had two shutoffs and you had 2 meters in the property. Is there or is there not presently a shutoff valve that's visible for that, the meter that you allege is the one that's servicing the property?
Let me.
I mean, that's a yes or no question. Is there a
They're not 2 meters. They used to be 2 services. There is
Okay.
only 1 meter.
Okay, 1 meter,
Okay.
1 service, which is
So-
is on the left side of the property as we
There
look.
is, what happened is before they replaced the cobblestone there on the sidewalk.
Who's they?
The city of Philadelphia, the improvement, I'm not sure who did it or, but we did not put the cobblestones there. The cobblestones were put by the city of Philadelphia, I believe. Now, when they did that, they moved the box, and my box is on the other side.
You think it's on the other side.
I think it's on the other
We're
side.
not sure.
You say other side of what?
Of the building.
Are you saying there is a shutoff box, or you said it was moved? So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is that when they replaced these cobblestones, did they leave a shutoff box? Is it there? Is it not there? Have you been to the property to look at it?
I've been there, and is moved to my neighbor's
That's what.
Property.
That's what we believe. We believe the box has been moved.
So you believe there's a box, but it's not directly in front of your property or on one side, it's on your neighbor's property, but could also be the shutoff box for your next door neighbor's property. Is that
Well,
possible?
they have 2 shutoff
I think
boxes.
there's even more than that. There's like
Okay,
a cluster of shut-off boxes adjacent to the property. So we're not sure if that is, one of them is ours, the neighbors, not sure.
and you did not ask a plumber to come out and check this out for you since the date of the violation that was written in January of this year?
No, we did not.
Okay, any reason why you didn't?
Yes, I asked the office of City Councilman Clark to look into it, because when the cobblestones were replaced, I believe then the curb box was moved, or it was long time before that, that of what I found out is a lot of boxes, the city, they used to be in adjacent properties.
Okay, now you understand though that even if it was moved by that contractor, as the homeowner, you're responsible for maintenance. And if you get a violation, wouldn't it be appropriate for you to in defense of your position, to have your plumber come out and mark the correct location and say it's working? And then that may have eliminated the violation altogether. Why not do that? Councilman Clark's office is not going to offer you the services of a plumber.
That we weren't expecting that. We were just trying.
Well,
to figure
you have
out
a violation.
Which curb stop was ours?
Well, that's why you hire your plumber to come out and say, hey, this is my curb stop and it's working. Then that solves the violation notice.
We will take that advice and try to get the plumber to do that. Unfortunately, we didn't think of that that time and now.
Okay.
So thank you for the recommendation. I will follow up with that.
Well, Mr. Hatsiadis, I get Hatsi Diaz, my question would be, the violation was written in January. You called, I assume, your councilman's office. Then that was 5 months ago now, almost. And I don't know, you may or may not have heard from the councilman. In the meantime, this hearing is scheduled and you get a notice of the hearing. Did you make any further effort to try to get clarification on this issue with anyone? Did you call the water department? Did you call Mr. Councilman Clark's office back to ask them if they've done any investigation on your behalf? That's a yes or no question.
I reached out to Councilman Clark's office to find out when the cobblestones were replaced, because there was a gentrification going on in the neighborhood and they put the cobblestones in. So I was trying to find out what was happening with that, and then I never heard back.
I see. And then you received notice of a hearing and you never heard back. And other than
Right.
them reaching out and contacting the councilman's office, you haven't made any further efforts to clarify this matter. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And also to add, we did not realize that the curb in question is the curb that you have marked in blue here. We
Okay.
thought the curb in question is the one that is on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side of the building, facing the building.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Ms. Athanasiadis, any closing argument, any further comments?
Just a few closing points, Chairman
Well,
Woodson.
before you do that, let me just ask Inspector Locke. Are you, Inspector, you said you visited the property. Are you
Yes, sir.
still on? Are you aware is there a possibility there might be a shut off curb stop box located on the other side of the property? Did you make any investigation?
If there is, that's gonna be for the adjacent property.
Well,
You
yes.
Yeah, that's,
I guess Mr. Hatsi Diaz implies that these boxes may have been moved when they replaced the sidewalk. So it may appear to be for the property next door, although it's for his.
yeah. Now the one I painted right here, it's definitely on his property. So that's what I went with. You can see the blue mark.
Is that an actual place where the location of a shut off, or is that a brick and where the shut off should be located?
Oh, that's actual the curb box. Yeah, that's the
okay.
lid, yeah.
Okay.
I do have a question, if I may ask Mr. Locke. Which I
Yes.
didn't think of previously. What exactly is wrong with this? If this in fact is ours, okay, what is
It's-
wrong? I'm not understanding what is actually wrong with it.
It's
It's-
shifted. We can't get a key down there to shut your water off. It's shifted, meaning crooked. So we can't get a key straight down. It's supposed to be straight up and down.
So you can open this box,
Mhm.
is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Right? But when you do, it can't,
we can't put a key down in there. The curb box is shifted off the curb box, off the curb stop.
how far down is does this once you take
About
that.
4 foot. 4 feet.
Okay, so something, so that if in fact this is ours,
Mhm.
it's shifted 4 feet underground and I'm
Yes.
responsible for that?
Yes, you're responsible for everything from the water main in.
Okay.
But again, our water meter is on the right-hand side.
Okay, that you may be
Left-hand
accurate.
side
Yeah,
facing.
you sir, you may be accurate, and we hear that, we understand that, but the homeowner is still responsible to do some investigation. You need to get a plumber to help you figure out what's wrong and help
Okay.
you identify your curb stop. Before we move on, actually, I'm going to change my mind. Ask the appellant, do you have any final comments to make before we take a vote? Anything else you want to add that would be helpful to us?
1 second, because we're running out of battery. My wife is trying to get the plug.
News you will come back in.
Sorry about that.
Okay, we have other cases to hear, so we're going
Right.
to.
It's okay. We are good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything you want to add as a final comment before we ask the city's law department to comment?
We will try to get a plumber there to
figure it out
what the discrepancy is, because we are saying the curb box is on the other side and the city is saying the curb box on this side. So
okay. Already.
That's
okay. Miss Athanasiadis, do you have any final argument?
Just briefly, Chairman Woodson, regarding a few points that appellants made. The address I would submit to the board is a non-issue. They clearly received a letter which they attached to their appeal. As Mr. Locke testified, the notices of defect are left at the actual property, and that was done. We're here for a shifted curb box. I would draw the board's attention to the appeal that was made was indicating that they were saying they didn't have a shutoff valve, essentially, but that's not what the notice of defect is for. The notice of defect is for the shifted curb box, which the photo that was provided, City Exhibit 2 demonstrates. Moreover, the cobblestones that were referenced, they were not put in new. They have been at that location. Google Images will show to at least 2012. Had there been any type of replacement of the cobblestones done, that has nothing to do with homeowners' responsibility or property owners' responsibility to maintain their curb boxes. Mr. Locke credibly testified that the properties do have a curb stop box and the shutoff valve. And as he indicated, each property owner is responsible to maintain it so that it is accessible. And he indicated the reasons why it's important that it be accessible for health and safety reasons. So with that, Chairman Woodson, I would just ask that the board come back with a city affirmed regarding this notice.
Okay, thank you. Ma'am, you muted. You have one question before we call the vote on this?
I do. I just wanted to be clear regarding the mail situation. Yes, obviously, I got the letter saying that there was an issue, but I realized that the bill wasn't being paid and called the water department and tried to ascertain what happened. And they told me that someone in the water department decided to change the address at their own free will to the property. So we weren't getting the water bills.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
you understand that the water bill is not part of today's issue.
I do understand, but my point is that
I don't want to cloud the record. See, adding new things that are unrelated to the case is not
but
helpful.
Ms. Athanasiadis is stating that obviously we're getting mail, meaning that there wasn't a problem with the mail, and there was, and that's my
Okay.
point.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. We will now poll the board regarding HA-2023-000798, 2635 West Girard Avenue, Demetrius and Carol Hatz DS. And I'm proposing city affirm with a 30-day stay of enforcement.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just wondering if 30 days is enough and whether either 45 or 60 might be appropriate.
Okay, I'm flexible. The issue is whether or not they can get a plumber to confirm the status of the shut off curb box. It's 30 days, 45 days should be more than enough time to get a plumber to the residents. It isn't a matter of resources, just a matter of getting a plumber.
I'll go along with city affirmed 30-day stay of enforcement.
Thank you.
City affirm 30-day stay of enforcement.
Thank you.
City affirm 30-day stay of enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, the unanimous vote is city affirmed 30-day stay of enforcement. Ma'am, sir, what you've just heard is a vote that says the city's violation notice was appropriately written and the city's position has been affirmed. However, we've added that they can't take any additional enforcement action for 30 days. That gives you some time to get your plumber to your property to look at that curb box to confirm if the city's wrong or right, and call the inspector and call the number on your forms and ask someone to come out if you find out that they were wrong. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day. Thank you very
You
much.
too.
Okay, what's our next case?
Number 46, hearing appeal number HA 2023 000911 753 South 7th Street, Todd Burton and Tiffany McGregor.
Okay. Representing the city?
Chairman Whitson, Alex Athanasiadis on behalf of the city of Philadelphia on this matter.
Okay, do we have Todd Burton or Tiffany McGregor?
Yes. Todd Burton.
Tiffany McGregor. All right, thank you. Would both of you raise your right hand so you would be sworn? Ms. McGregor, you're muted if you unmute yourself. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
I do.
Thank you very much. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have a witness?
Chairman Whitson, Mr. Jason Locke will be the city's witness in this matter.
Okay, Mr. Locke, you've raised your right hand so you may be sworn. Do you swear or affirm, sir, that testimony you give today be the truth so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. Before we go any further, though, I just need to confirm with Mr. Burton and Mr. McGregor, are you the two owners of this property?
We
Yes.
are.
Okay, what's the ownership structure?
The
I
deed
believe
is
it's
in
in
Tiffany's
mine,
name.
Tiffany's name.
Okay, wait a minute. It's in whose name?
Tiffany's.
Tiffany's. And so, Mr. Burton, what is your relationship to the property?
Tiffany is my wife and I live there with her.
Oh, okay. So you're a married couple. This is your matrimonial home then. Okay.
It is.
Yes.
Okay, these are residents. Okay. All right. Thank you. You just need to be certain that in fact the owners, now are any other names on the deed other than Tiffany's?
No, there are not.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Athanasiadis, please proceed.
Yes, good afternoon, Chairman. This matter involves a notice again for a violation under Philadelphia City Code 13-502 for failing to provide an accessible and operable shut-off valve for the curb stop. On January 23rd, 2023, the Philadelphia Water Department went to 753 South 7th Street because there was a failure to schedule an appointment for water meter service. The water meter issue has since been resolved. However, while on site, it was determined that the property did not have the accessible and operable shut-off valve, and a notice of defect was issued. Appellants subsequently appealed the notice of defect, and a reinspection was done by Mr. Jason Locke on May 16th, 2023. And as of that date, the violation stands, and the city would be calling again Mr. Jason Locke to the stand.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Locke. Oh, before we proceed, I just as a general statement, I've noticed that at least one, maybe more individuals who are participating are moving around a lot. You're on the street or wherever you are. If you're going to do that, would you turn your camera off? Because it's distracting if a person is moving. So you can keep your sound on, but turn your camera off because your movement creates distractions for the panel trying to view the cases. Thank you. All right, please proceed, Mr. Locke.
Jason Lock, JASON LOCK.
Chairman Woodson, if we could reincorporate by reference, Mr. Locke's qualifications.
Yes,
To the hearing.
and so accepted.
Okay, Mr. Locke, you reviewed some documents for this address,
Yes,
and I'm gonna present to you, sir, what's been previously marked as City 1. Okay, do you see my screen, Mr. Locke?
yes,
Now, you were not the inspector or crew chief who issued this notice of plumbing defect, correct?
yes,
Right. You are familiar with the issuance of defect notices,
yes, I am.
including one such as this for a no curb box visible, correct?
Yes,
And you reviewed this document as well as others, and you also visited the property, correct?
yes, I did.
Provided photographs from your visit to the property.
Yes,
And this record that I'm showing you, this is a record that's kept in the ordinary course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business.
yes, it is.
So the board, when is such a notice written and created?
When we come to the property, either, this is for meter, obviously. When we come out to collect for delinquency and even for meter installs. We come out to the property, either to collect money, install a meter. If no one's at the property for either or, we attempt to shut off the water for non-compliant.
And this document is kept in the ordinary course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business.
Yes, it is.
The information put on this document is put on by someone towards the events and the regular course and scope of their job.
Yes, it is.
And in this case, that would be crew chief inspector 250. The unit would be the shut off unit.
Yes,
And can you tell the board here, what was the notice of defect issued for here?
no curb box visible.
And it also indicates that the property owner has 10 days from the date of this notice to contact the plumber,
Yes, it does.
to correct the defect.
Yes,
And is this document left at the property?
yes, it is.
Responsibility is it to have an operable curb stop box?
Homeowners,
And why is it important for a homeowner to have an accessible and operable curb stop box?
case of internal leak, they need to shut off the water. If they can't shut off at the meter valve at the meter inside the property, you go outside to the curb stop, shut it off.
And I will show you some photographs, sir. Now, Mr. Locke, I'm going to show you some photographs that have been submitted as City Exhibit 2. And then I will submit to the board. It's a collection of 4 photographs. Okay, Mr. Locke. Do you see the photo I'm showing you, sir?
Yes,
Can you tell us what we're looking at here?
this is the address at 753 South 7th Street.
I'll just scroll through all 4 photographs. Is this another photograph of 75 South 7th Street?
Yes, it is.
And what about this?
Yes. Yes,
You took these photographs, correct?
yes, I did.
And you took these photographs back on May 16, 2023.
Yes, I did.
A visible curb box in any of the photographs.
No, there's not.
Okay. And these photographs, are they a fair and accurate representation of what the sidewalk outside of 753 South 7th Street looked like on the date of your reinspection?
Yes, it does.
So as we sit here today, Mr. Locke, the property remains in violation of section 13-502 of the code, correct?
Yes, it does.
If I may, Ms. Athanasiadis, what day did Mr. Locke take those pictures?
May 16th, Mr. Pincus, 2023.
Thank you.
I have no further questions of Mr. Locke at this time.
And I guess I would ask Ms. McGregor or Mr. Burden, which of you will be asking the questions or speaking on behalf of the appeal?
I will, please.
Okay, Mr. Burden, do you have any questions of Mr. Locke based on his testimony?
I do not for Mr. Locke.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Athanasiadis, do you have any additional witnesses?
I do not, Chairman Woodson, if I may, just to mark and move the city exhibits that were presented into evidence. And
Yes, sir. So accepted. So moved.
I failed to mark and move the previous listings.
Okay. Well, let's do this. After we finish this case, then we'll give you an opportunity to read that number, case number again, and then move the items to the record.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Burden and Ms. McGregor, now is your opportunity to place your facts on the record.
Thank you. So we certainly understand our responsibilities as owners. I think probably the one thing that was kind of caused some confusion for us in this case was just not in August of 2020, we had some plumbing issues that the city required the city to come out and review the property, look at some drainage issues within the property. At one point, we were issued violations that needed to be corrected regarding curb inlets, I think fresh air inlets, and I believe I provided that documentation, along with the appeal. So it was a little bit of a concern that less than 2 years ago, the city was out and based on a write-up by a Philadelphia Water Department inspector, a fair amount of work was done that needed to be reviewed and signed off by the city. So I think the expectation was that if this was an issue that needed to be addressed, why would it not have been something that the inspector would have brought up and included in the work write-up that we had in August of 2020?
Well, Mr. Burden, I have a question for you.
Sure.
The plumber who did the work, was that a plumber that you hired?
It was actually directed to, so we appealed for a help loan, I believe is the name of it. And
Okay.
and there was a plumber that was referred to us by the city, Clements Brothers Plumbing.
Okay, now have you called that plumber since this new violation came out and asked them about this issue?
I have not, no, I have not. And
If I
a
may,
lot of,
Mr. Burton, the violation is dated in January.
Mhm.
You submitted documents with Clements Plumbing on it in
Mhm.
February. Why did, and included the documents describe work that was done, including installation of a curb trap,
Mhm.
8/21/20. Would you
Mhm.
not have called the Clements Brothers Plumbing and say, hey, I have this, I have a city inspector signing off on this on August 21st, and I'm now being told I don't have a curb stop? Wouldn't, at least I would think, why didn't you
Mhm.
call Clement Brothers and ask them, why is the city writing this up if you say you did it? And you didn't call them? Am I hearing you correctly?
That is correct. And I would say partially some of that was maybe the difference in the verbiage of a curb stop versus I think what it was called on what the write-up there was a curb trap.
The write-up on the Help Cross Connection Plumbing Repair Program says curb trap. That's the same language, I believe, that's used in the
versus curb stop, I believe. So.
Well, okay. But
So it would, and I'm certainly happy to do that, but it was probably maybe born out of just not a full understanding of what I was being presented with there. And so I you know, typically if I'm engaging with a plumber, they're certainly going to incur additional costs if they're going to come out and review. So I was hoping to address this with the city first, and then if I need to then get with them, I certainly would.
Did you make any attempt to call the water department and explain the previous action at your address?
I did not, and I really, you know, and again, maybe born out of ignorance, but I felt as though the appeal and the instructions that were provided on, if you disagree, you know, with this, I guess in violation, the way I understood that, I kind of looked at the appeal as being part of that communication.
Okay. I have a question for Mr. Locke. Mr. Locke, do you have access to records for the work that was done in 2020, I believe, that shows essentially replacement of that lot of the infrastructure?
Yes, I had them in front of me, yeah.
Okay, well, is it possible to determine if a curb trap should have been part of that?
It's just a curb trap is it. The curb box and the curb stop wasn't nothing to do with this situation.
Okay, but the old one should have been retained, shouldn't it?
The old curb box?
Yeah, when they replaced everything.
It depends if it was in that same excavation. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm asking because the photos that was shown shows new concrete. And it doesn't show any fresh air inlet.
No, it doesn't.
Or show any curb traps or anything.
Yeah, they should all be visible.
Yeah.
Chairman Woodson, I don't mean to testify or interject. I did look into this based on the documents that were provided by Mr.
Yes.
I testify for the record. A curb trap.
Oh, we're having a difficult time hearing you for some reason.
Is this better, sir?
Yes, that's a little better. Yes.
I just want to clarify for the record that a curb stop and a curb stop box is separate from a curb trap. They are not the same thing. I'm happy to redirect Mr. Locke at the appropriate time to show the customer responsibility chart. Yes, it is true what Ms. McGregor and Mr. Burton are stating. They did apply and receive a help loan back in 2020. However, that was for the replacement of the fresh air inlet and the curb trap.
Okay, but the only issue here though is that the images that were shown shows the front of the house being completely new cement, and in some area that new concrete should be the shut-off box area.
Well, if there was a shut-off area at the time that they performed the work that was done were for other issues and other matters. And I'm happy to provide, though it's not part of this case and not part of the appeal, the record where it shows where those items were placed. And they were placed by the property line. If you could just bear with me, brief and
Okay. Sure.
Just 1 second. Okay. Now, Chairman Woodson, this is what I'm showing you relating to this property. And this is relating to the work that was done back in. And this is the final reinspection report. And it was reinspection found repairs made to defective main house drain at 753, new PVC pipes installed, new vent box and vent pipe installed, a long foundation wall of property. So
Okay.
things that were done were near the foundation wall of the property. They weren't done in the sidewalk area.
Excuse me, sir, whoever that was just yawned, please mute yourself because you're interfering with our case. Shin Lin, I think it is. No one's responding, but there's a fellow with a blue shirt on, a dark blue shirt. Everybody look at your shirt, see who's wearing a dark blue shirt. Yes, you. Raise your hand. Sir, you understand me? Do you understand me?
think he has, I think he has the interpreter.
Is he the interpreter, the one who needs an interpreter?
He's the one who needs an interpreter. I'll mute him.
Thank you. My apologies to everyone else. Ms. Athanasiadis, is there, and I don't want to stray off into a different case altogether. Is there any additional write-up regarding the replacement of the concrete at all, or this is it in terms of what was done?
No, this is what we have in our records, Chairman Woodson, regarding the repair work that was done. If there was any other concrete work done, I'm not sure who did that, by whether it was property owners or for some other project.
Okay,
So-
thank you. Yeah. So what, okay, so to bring this back to the incident case, we're focused strictly on the whether or not there is a shutoff valve.
Right.
And that's essentially what we're talking about. Mr. Burden and Ms. McGregor, your responsibilities as a homeowner is to know whether you actually have one or not. And if you don't have one, take responsibility for making one sure one is installed. If the previous contractor did not do a proper job or did something they should not have done, then you have to inquire, find out why, and get them to do it. That's essentially, as the homeowner, you have to take some responsibility and some action.
And I do understand that part of it. And you know, it looks as though, you know, I think there was somewhat of an understanding and a trust factor that the inspection done by the Philadelphia Water Department would have identified the items that would have needed to be done. And then if it sounds as though that they only looked at like a portion of it, not the other piece that was right in front of them, which was this missing curb box. Because that, why wouldn't that have been brought up as something that A, needed to be completed, and then B, why would it be signed off as being kind of within I guess compliance at that point. And I understand the semantics of okay, that it specifically did not talk about that one piece, but I guess I felt I would have expected it to be a part of it. That's all.
Who installed the concrete? Did you do that separate, or did the company that did the plumbing work have that?
I believe that was all. I think everything was through Clemens. We did not engage with anybody outside of this, I guess, piece.
Okay. Okay, any other questions from anyone? Okay, Mr. Burden or Mr. McGregor, any final comments that you would have before we ask the city to give final argument?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, Ms. McGregor?
Nothing from me, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Athanasiadis, any final argument?
Briefly, Chairman Woodson, I believe this is a matter of maybe a misunderstanding of the terms curb trap versus curb stop box. Nonetheless, unfortunately, Mr. Burton and Ms. McGregor remain in violation of 13-502. There is not an accessible operable shutoff valve at the curb stop. There is no curb stop box. Moreover, I understand to a degree Mr. Burton's point. Hey, PWD was out here. Why didn't they pick up on this fact? I would just bring to the board's attention without getting lost in the weeds. PWD was out there for a main house drain that was blocked. That's a separate unit. That's a separate department. They went out, they saw the issue. What needed to be done to rectify the issue was what was done by Clements Brothers regarding the fresh air inlet and the installation of the curb trap box. Nonetheless, they still do not have the operable curb stop shutoff valve and box that is needed now. Whether they had it then, photos would indicate it wasn't there back then either, but the fact remains it's property owner's responsibility to have one. And though they would have liked to have been explained that it was missing at the time, whether that occurred or not, based on the records, that didn't occur, but that's not an appealable issue today, that they're still in violation of not having what is needed.
Okay, thank you. I would invite my colleagues to join me in breakout room for a short session. We're going to go off the record for we're back on the record. Back on the record regarding HA-2023-000911-753 South 7th Street. After hearing all the testimony and the facts that were placed on the record, the board is prepared to vote. And before we do that, I just want to be certain there's no additional argument from the city or from the appellants. Everyone is muted at the moment, so I assume not. Okay, thank you. Before I do this, I would recommend Mr. Burton and Ms. McGregor that you really should have a conversation with your help loans customer service people regarding the nature of the work, what was done, who did it, the quality of the work, and whether or not everything was done correctly. And you really should do that, given that you have this debt that you have to repay. And you may need some help with your local elected officials. But with regard to HA 2023-00911753 South 7th Street, Todd Burton, Tiffany McGregor, city affirmed with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed with a 90-day stay of enforcement.
City affirmed 90-day stay of enforcement.
Thank you very much. Sir, you have 90 days without any additional enforcement action taken against you to try to figure out a solution for this. Understood?
Understood.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Athanasiadis, do you want to move your documents into the record now before we go to the next case?
Chairman Whitson, if I may go back to case number 45, HA 2023-000798, 2635 West Girard Avenue, Demetrios and Carol Haitsidagis. I would just ask to move city exhibits 1 and 2 into the record. And thank you, Chairman Whitson.
So moved. Thank you. All righty, call the next case.
Number 48, hearing appeal number HA 2022-004618. 1669 Granite Street. Ga Quinn Lin. GAQIANG LIN.
Okay. All righty. Who's representing the water department?
Good afternoon, Chairman Whitson. Alex Athanasiadis on behalf of the Water Department. And for this matter, Chairman Whitson, the city would be calling Mr. Hashim Murphy as its witness.
Okay.
Can I have an interpreter?
No, just 1 minute. I understand there's an interpreter for today's for this hearing.
Yes, my name is Nina. I'm the Cantonese interpreter.
Okay, Nina, I don't see your image anywhere. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I see it. My apologies.
Okay.
Would you raise your right hand so that you may be sworn? Do you swear to faithfully translate from English to Cantonese and Cantonese to English the proceedings in this matter regarding 1669 Granite Street?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Not Cantonese, it's Mandarin.
Interpreter can speak Mandarin as well.
Oh, it's Mandarin? Oh, Mandarin? Okay. Ma'am, what I'd like you to do from this point forward to interpret everything that's said, we will give you the appropriate, we'll wait for you to do that. And so that we can make sure that the appellant is properly informed as to the proceedings, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Interpreter speaking, yes.
Okay, would you call Mr. Shin Lin?
先生陈林先生
Sir, raise your right hand.
举起您的右手。
林国强，我叫林国强。
My name is 郭强林。
Guo Chanling, okay. Sir, do you swear or affirm the testimony that you give today be the truth so help you God?
先生，您是否发誓今天所说的都是真实的？
是的。
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You can place your hand down.
好，谢谢，可以放下您的右手。
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Athanasiadis, your witness. I don't see anyone with that name.
Chairman Whitson, Hashi.
Okay. Ms. Athanasiadis, something's happening with your speakers. You just really broken up. And some echoes. I'm not sure if there's a problem with the earphones or not. And again, everything we are saying, we're asking the interpreter to repeat. So just keep that in mind.
I don't have headphones in, Chairman Whitson. If you'd like, I can leave the meeting and rejoin to see if that addresses the issue.
Well, Okay, where you're sitting presently seems to work. So if that's where you can be, okay?
I'm not moving them.
Okay. All right, ma'am, would you call your witness?
The city would call Mr. Hashim Murphy.
Interpreter?
现在叫这个证人叫 Pershing Murphy。
Okay. Mr. Murphy, would you raise your right hand, please?
Murphy 先生，举起您的左手，右手。
Okay.
是就我吗？
Okay, well, left hand. Sir, do you swear or affirm the testimony you give today be the truth so help you God? You're muted, sir.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, are you driving in a vehicle?
I am in a vehicle currently. Yes.
Okay,
sir.
we need you to pull over and stop.
I can exit the vehicle.
Okay. You didn't need to exit the vehicle. We just need to make sure you weren't moving. That was the issue.
It's no problem.
Okay.
Woodson, if I may, this case is before the board as Mr., and I apologize if I mispronounce the name, Gao King Lin is appealing the notice of defect that was served on November 8th, 2022 for the property located at 1669 Granite Street. The deed does
Ms. Athanasiadis, please wait a minute so the interpreter can spill all of that out.
您好，那曾就是发言确认 interpreter clarify what is their name again? Chen Lin Chen
郭强令。
郭强宁，OK。那先生郭强宁先生，您这个是在11月8号2023年您的地址1669 Granite Street 这条街有这个缺陷哈。
The deed lists appellant Gao Tiang Lin as the owner of the property.
那郭强宁是这个房子的房主。
对
，Yes。
The Philadelphia Water Department, or PWD, went to 1669 Granite Street as a result of a call for a cave-in.
First of all, interpreter did not catch. What is the?
I'm sorry?
Interpreter has hard time to hear you. Sorry, can you please repeat?
The Philadelphia Water Department, PWD, went to 1669 Granite Street as a result of a call for a cave-in.
First of all, is a call for a cave-in?
On November 8th, 2022, a dye test was performed and dye appeared in the sewer through a defective lateral at 1669 Granite Street.
I'm sorry, interpreter. Speaking interpreter really have hard time to catch you.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Athanasiadis, you may have to repeat that last sentence again.
On November 8th, 2022, a dye test was performed and dye appeared in the sewer through a defective lateral at 1669 Granite Street.
那这个地址您的1669 Granite 街那现在在11月18号2022年有检查过，那您的水道就是水沟这边有一些缺陷。
A notice of plumbing defect was issued that day.
那天就是说有就是说查出来有一些缺陷。
5 re-inspections occurred since then.
当时就有这个就是检查。
The most recent re-inspection occurred on May 15th, 2023, and no repairs had been made.
直到最近5月15号2023年您这个问题还没有修理好。
The city will be calling Hashim Murphy as its witness.
这边市政府这边叫这个 Hashim Murphy 来他做出庭作证。
Okay, Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Please proceed, Ms. Athanasiadis.
Mr. Murphy, can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Hashim Murphy, that's spelled Hashim Murphy, Murphy.
And by whom are you
Oh,
employed?
wait, Miss Nancy Addis, I'm sorry, the interpreter, please. Did you hear that last statement, Miss Interpreter?
Interpreter speaking from Hershey Murphy, Mr.
Yes, did you didn't interpret the introduction of Mr. Murphy, so I need you to make sure everything she says, he hears.
Okay, interpreter speaking. I thought when Miss Alessandra talked to Hershey Murphy, I mean, if you still if you need interpreter to insert that part, interpreter did not a word of it. So can you please repeat?
Yes, before she does that, what I'm asking is that whenever anyone speaks in English, we're to stop after we make a statement so that you may interpret that in the Mandarin.
Interpreter speaking, yes, yeah, previously I thought they have a conversation, so interpreter
Even conversations you should interpret because he needs to know everything that's going on. Okay?
Sure.
All right, thank you. Okay. Please proceed, Ms.
Before we
Anthony.
proceed,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, has
Yes.
Miss Inspector Murphy been sworn in?
Yes, sir. He was sworn in before he left the vehicle.
Thank you. Sorry.
Mr. Murphy, please state your name for the record.
好，Murphy 先生，好，那请拼音拼出来你的名字。
Hashim, Hashim Murphy, Murphy。
名字叫 Hershey Murphy，Hashim Murphy。
And by whom are you employed?
您是哪个就是谁雇你的？
City of Philadelphia, Philadelphia Water Department.
是费城的水务局。
And how long have you been at the Philadelphia Water Department?
您在费城的水务局多长时间呢？
Approximately 19 years.
大约19年时间。
And what is your current job title?
您目前的职位头衔是什么？
Crew Chief 1.
是翻译就重复 interpreter repetition. I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Crew Chief 1.
Interpreter did not catch what type of it's like what is there?
Crew CREW Chief CHIEF 1 numeral 1.
OK，那我是这个组的组长。
How long have you been a crew chief 1?
您做这个组长有多长时间呢？
Approximately 13 years.
大约13年的时间。
And what is your responsibility as a crew chief 1?
您作为组长是责任是什么？
As a crew chief, we maintain the safety of crews, make sure the crews are in effect doing the proper things, the proper jobs, and complete the jobs quickly and efficiently.
好，那就是作为这个组长，我们要确保所有的这个所有的这些都是安全的那所在的工作职位内也可以很快或者更准确的完成我的工作。
Prior to your being a crew chief 1, what was your job title at the water department?
在水务局您作为这个组长之前您在水务局是做什么职位？
Prior to being a crew chief, I was a sewer maintenance inspector. And that duty, we crawled sewers, made repairs in sewers, made specific calls on cave-ins, defective laterals, defective vent pipes, and curb traps.
那之前我是这个保持这个就是这个沟渠的这个检验员哈，就是维持这个沟渠检验员。我的工作就是要就是检查所有的这些沟渠有没有任何歪斜这些要保持这个运作。
And how long were you a sewer maintenance inspector?
您作为这个水质员，这个就是沟渠保持员有多长的时间？
Approximately 6 years.
大约6年时间。
Now, you reviewed documents for this address of 1669 Granite Street, correct?
那您对这个地址1669 Granite Street 是否知道这个地址？
Yes.
是的。
And you were not the inspector or crew chief who issued the notice of plumbing defect in this matter, correct?
No, I am not.
您当时不是这个组长是吗？就是当发现这个缺陷的时候，是的，我不是当时，
Mr.
No, I
Murphy?
am not.
Yeah.
我不是。
And you are familiar with the issuance of the defect notice in your experience as a sewer maintenance inspector, correct?
那您知道这个是有缺陷哈？您作为这个作为这个水渠的维持员哈，您知道这个有这个经验哈？
Yes, not only as a sewer maintenance inspector, but my 13 years as a crew chief, have been on the exam truck working specifically with the sewer maintenance inspectors.
是的，不止作为这个水渠，就是这个水沟水渠的维持员、检验员哈，那也有13年的经验作为这个组长，关于这个水渠的维持都有经验。
Now, the city work documents, notice of defects and reinspection reports that you reviewed for this matter, they are all kept in the ordinary course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business, correct?
那所有的这些文件都由审核哈，都保留在这个水务局的这个档案里，对吗？
Yes.
是的。
And when is a notice of defect written or created?
您最后就是当时是什么时候就是说开始就是查到这个缺陷的？
The notice of defect is issued once the crew arrives at the job site, properly dye tests, crawl sewers, and ID the defective laterals. Then the notice of defect is served.
那我们当时就是说看到这个有检查当时是这个有缺陷哈，这个侧面缺陷。
Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, Mr. Murphy.
好 ，Murphy 先生，现在给你看一下这个屏幕。
Do you see what I'm seeing, sir?
Yes.
现在有没有看到这个屏幕？有。
Yes.
And this is a notice of plumbing defect issued to 1669 Granite Street, is it not?
是不是这个1669 Granite 街哈？是这个吗？这个侧面的这个缺陷。
Yes, it is.
是的。
And in this case, the crew chief and inspector were an R. Dada and E. Hernandez.
这个名字哈是这个组长哈，叫这个 R. Bada， 这个 Hirulanda 这个名字组长，检验员。
Yes.
是的。
And this document was prepared by them.
这个文件是他们就是准备的，对吗？
Yes.
是对的。
And in preparing this document, they had personal knowledge and recorded the events at the time of the issuance of this document and in the course of doing their job.
他们出具这个文件的时候，当时根据他们的经验，他们所知道也报告就是来出示这个文件。
Yes.
是的。
And what is the date of this notice?
好，那这个日期是什么时候？
11/8/22.
是11月8号，2022年。
And the service address is 1669 Granite Street?
地址是1669 Granite Street 街道。
Yes.
是的。
Okay. And the property owner is listed as a Gao King Lin.
高枪令对吗？这个房主
Yes,
是的。
And there appears to be an address of 8507 Bergen Terrace.
地址是8507 Bergen Terrace 对吗？
correct.
对的。
And I'll direct you to the middle of the page, Mr. Murphy.
Murphy 先生看到这个中间这一栏哈。
Why was this notice of defect issued?
为什么是发现这个有缺陷呢？
This notice of defect was issued for a defective lateral at 1669 Granite Street.
在这个地址1669 Granite 街道发现这个缺陷，在侧边这边缺陷。
And what is a lateral?
是在哪个侧面？
The lateral is the pipe connected to the curb trap that delivers sewage or wastewater to the city sewer.
就在这个管道，这个就是这个管道下水道，有这个路边这个管道连接到城市的这个政府城市的下水道这一条。
And what is the danger of having a defective lateral?
那有这个侧边缺选会有什么样的这个损坏？是什么样的危险呢？风险呢？
A defective sewer lateral can give you problems in one of two areas. One, it could be choked and cause sewage back up into the basement of your residence, or if it becomes disjointed or broken, it can cause large cave-ins in the street and or footway.
就是说这个会造成这个侧面损坏，就是会造成其中一个就是两方面，其中一个就是说，如果这个下水道的损坏，它会造成这个下水道里面的一些污水会回流到这个房子的地下室会造成淹水如果破裂的话，也会就是流到街道上面。
And in this particular case, this notice of defect indicates that there was a cave-in, correct?
那这个有翻译成口法notice what did you say cave-in?
Yes, cave-in.
OK 那现在有发现这个有一个洞是吗？有这个缺选洞是吗？
Yes.
是的。
And dye was placed in the inside that cave-in.
是在这个是在水泥路的下方，对吗？
Yes.
是的。
And then dye was shown in the defective lateral, correct?
是这个侧面损坏，对吗？
Dye showed in the sewer. Inspector Hernandez crawled up the sewer and observed the dye coming out of the defective lateral at 1669.
那这个就是就是水沟这条线，它有就是变形，有这个地址是1669这地址。
Can you please briefly explain to the board just how the dye test works?
你可以解释一下，下有委员会解释一下，这个是您是怎么样是找出来这个错损？
Certainly. Upon arrival, the exam crew would place dye into the cave-in, run water into the cave-in. When and if the dye shows in the sewer downstream, one of the sewer maintenance inspectors would crawl the sewer until he found
Okay,
the
Mr. Murphy.
source.
Mr. Murphy, stop right there so she can catch up with you.
Gotcha. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Okay. This is the interpreter speaking to ensure accuracy. Can you please repeat?
Sure. Upon arrival at job site, the exam crew would place dye into the cave-in and then run water into the same cave-in.
首先，这个团队到达那边的时候，他会将这个有燃料的放入 这个洞里面，然后呢然后就是放水冲到洞里面去。
When and if the dye shows in the sewer, one of the sewer maintenance inspectors will crawl the sewer to find and locate the source of the dye.
好，然后就是这个团队的人，然后会看一下这个燃料颜色是在哪一条管道上面。
In this particular case, those things were done, and Inspector Hernandez saw that the dye was infiltrating the sewer through the defective lateral at 1669.
好，所以就是当看到这个燃料就可以找到这个管道缺损的地方是在这个地址1669。
And whose responsibility is it to maintain laterals?
谁来这个维持这条管道的侧管道？
The homeowner.
是房主。
Now, Mr. Murphy, I'm showing you what is the Philadelphia Water Department Customer Responsibility Diagram.
好，给你看一下这个就是图片哈，就是 Murphy 先生关于这个费城水务局的这个管道图。
And in this diagram, Mr. Murphy, would the lateral be what's notated as letter D?
看到这个 D 字母 D 哈，这个侧就是横着这条管道。
Yes, it is.
看到了。
And as this diagram states, it's the customer's responsibility to maintain that, correct?
这条管道就是这个房主客人哈，就是房主他是要负责的，对吗？
Yes.
是的。
And Mr. Murphy, the most recent reinspection was done on May 15th. If you just bear with me, I'm going to just pull up a reinspection record for you to take a look at, sir.
好 ，Murphy 先生，最近您最后一次检验是在5月15号哈，您稍等一下，我要将记录调出来一下。
Well, Mr. Murphy, I'm sharing my screen with you. Do you share do you see rather, I apologize, what I'm showing you?
Murphy 先生，现在给你看一下这个图片哈，抱歉，不知道能不能看得见。
Yes, I do.
Please magnify a bit, please, so we can read it.
好，放大，我可以读哈。
Thank you.
好，谢谢。
Now, Mr. Murphy, this is a City Works record, and you reviewed this in preparation for this matter, correct?
Murphy 先生是这个市政府的记录哈，是您记录的对吗？
Correct.
是的。
And this is a record that's kept in the ordinary course and scope of Philadelphia Water Department business?
这个是记录在费城的水务局对吗？
Correct.
是的。
And according to this record, an inspection was done. Is that correct?
根据这个记录当时有做了检验对吗？
Correct.
是的。
And that reinspection was done on May 15th, 2023?
是5月15号2023年做的检验对吗？
Correct.
是的。
And as of that date, no repairs had been made to the defective lateral, correct?
这天在横下的这条管检验当天还没有修理对吗？
Correct.
对的。
I have no further questions for Mr. Murphy.
好 ，Murphy 先生没有问题再问你了。
那我可不可以有一些问题问这个 Murphy 先生？
Can I ask a question? Can I ask Mr. Murphy?
After the city is finished, he will have an opportunity to ask questions of the inspector.
等这个市政府这边的代表讲完之后，会让您有机会让您问的。
I have no further questions at this time of Mr. Murphy. Chairman Woodson, I just reserve the right to redirect if necessary.
Thank you.
好 ，Murphy，现在没有问题要问 Murphy 先生，但我保持我的权利哈，到时候我问题还是会问。
Mr. Lin, do you have any questions of Mr. Murphy based on his testimony?
那根据他的这个宣誓哈，有没有什么问题想问？
有好多问题。
Yes, I have a lot of questions.
Okay, please.
好，请问。
第一个问题是 ，Murphy 先生发现这个问题，就是去检查的时候是一种例行检查，还是有什么人举报，什么人给他提供线索，然后他突然心血来潮跑到那边去检查，他到底这个去那边去检查的动机是什么？是例行检查，还是有人给他打报告，还是他自己突然心血来潮到那边去检查？
好的。So I have a question to Mr. Murphy. So is that a routine inspection, or is someone reported the issue for you to come over to do the inspection?
Someone reported the issue.
有人报告这个问题，举报的。
再接下去问，
Can
说这个人是住在这个房子里面的，还是不住在这个房子里面的？
I want to know if the tenant of their house or not.
That I do not know.
这个我不知道。
OK， 第二个问题 ，OK， 当你检验的时候，是不是用的是什么办法？是用目测的还是用猜测的，还是用雷达，还是用什么设备？因为这个管道是在地下的，是不是？就说你用什么办法可以知道这个地下这个管道有问题，而且你用什么办法可以这么肯定是这个房子出问题，而不是邻居，而不是隔壁这个房子的管道？我问你一下。
Second question is, what method that you have been used to inspect to confirm the defect is from this particular address because it's under the pavement. Are you using the vision inspection, or you just guess, or you use radar to inspect that pipe or that lateral about the lateral defect?
No, we use the same method described just a few short minutes ago. We dye test the cave-in itself. Once the dye shows in the cave-in, a sewer maintenance inspector enters the sewer and traces the dye to the exact location the dye is entering the sewer. Once we do that,
okay, wait a minute, Miss Murphy. Wait, Miss Murphy. Wait a minute. I want her to get it all.
OK， 那这样子，我们是用这种方式，我们用这个有颜色的染料，然后放进去，看到这个染料会有哪个这个就是这个地下出来的，然后我们可以诊断，我们会追踪看一下到底是哪个房子出来的。
他用什么办法？
Continue. No. Wait. Mr. Murphy, you had more to say on that before he asked another question?
稍等，Murphy 先生还有其他要讲哈，那您等一下再问其他问题。
Once the sewer maintenance inspector locates the source of the dye infiltrating the sewer, we then identify the vent pipe, which is connected to the curb trap and lateral, top side, to ensure that there are no mistakes made.
就是说我们就是说这个水管哈，就是这个下水道管的这个维修就是维持哈，我们就是说会追踪这个染料这个有颜色的染料到底是由哪个管道出来然后我们要确定一下具体哪一条管道是侧的管道还是哪个直的管道然后我们要确定完之后，因为我们就是要确定不会搞错。
我可以继续问了吗
？Can I continue to ask question?
Yes.
可以。
它这个染料是从什么地方灌下去的？ 他又看到了是从什么地方流出来的，是他直接可以看到这个燃料从什么地方流出来的，还是说他是用什么像雷达之类的什么东西？因为按我的知识，这个管道是在地下的，很深的地下的，是不是？你这个燃料，首先告诉我燃料是从什么地方灌进去的，是从什么地方流出来的？首先你又告诉我，你用什么方法看到这个燃料？
稍等。So, regarding that, you mentioned the way that you used to detect. So what is the started point to pull the dye, and then what is the dye, like out of the pipe? Are you, because it's like under the deep ground, the pipe is under the deep ground. How can you sure? Are you using the radar to detect it?
Before Mr. Murphy answers that, ask Mr. Lin, did he understand that a person goes into the pipe underground and sees the dye? Does he understand that's what happens?
首先Murphy 先生有讲过，就是说他们是会有一个专门的人去这个地下，就是这个管道它有个地下哈，这地下它是专门去到这个地下而看到的是哪条管。
他们人可以跑到下水道地下去。
So the person is able to fit in the underground?
Yes.
是的，可以的。
那既然这个它灌下去的水，它可以有颜色的水，它可以在地下下水道看到，那说明说这怎么能够说明说这个下水道有问题？如果下水道有问题，这水可能就不会进入这个下水道，它中途或者就好像他前面说的，就是说会 back up to basement 或者中途什么地方漏丢了，怎么会到那个下水道里面被他看到？
So basically, like you said, if the diet, if there is something wrong, it will back up to the basement, to the property, or how can you tell the dyes directly go to that pipe and go to that particular area?
Mr. Murphy?
I'm not sure I understand the question. In this case, there was no backup into the basement. There was a cave-in. We dye tested the cave-in. The dye showed in the sewer. We initially crawled up the sewer and traced the dye back to your sewer lateral.
是我不确定你的问题是什么，但是呢，是我们有派人下去下水道，就是地下这个地方，然后我们一直在下面爬，爬到这个就是这条管在这个横向侧面这条管是这样子查到的。
我不知道他在这个管上，在下水道里面看到了这个。OK， 有颜色的水进入这个下水道，跟这个下水道跟我这个管道有问题，有什么逻辑方面的关系？按正常人的思维逻辑如果这个下水道水有染色的水，如果不会流到下水道，在下水道看不到这水，说明这个管有问题，中间破掉了或者怎么样。是不是？或者刚才说的这个回到被
Excuse me, stop, please, stop.
稍等哈，稍等。
That seems like a lot of things that he's saying for you to be able to make into a question. Would you remind Mr. Lin that he has to make his statements so that you can present them to the inspector? And it seems as if he's giving a speech instead of asking a question.
不好意思哈，因为您讲话你要就是问问题哈，你不是演讲哈，你就问问题好吗？
我就问我就是问问题，因为
OK， 稍等 OK， 稍等。So like logically, when there is a leak or something wrong with the pipe, if there is a leaking, so you will like basically.
Misinterpreter, did you interpret to him what I said? And did he understand it? That he has to be brief in asking his questions?
Interpreter speaking, yes, interpreter will interpret again. 那这样子你的问题要简短一点哈，就不要说是演讲式的你就问题简短一下好吗
？OK， 我的问题是，就是说，他说他人在下水道里面看到这个有颜色这个水 ，OK， 从我的下水道流到 City 的主管里面。为什么这就可以证明说我的这个管道有破？如果认为我这个管道有破，那应该就水在半路。
Interpreter, where's the person? Where's the person?
稍等。So I mean, how can you sure that's basically the diet is from my pipe? So if they just crawl underground, how can I sure that's the pipe is basically the defect pipe is from my address?
Okay.
For the third time, what we do is once we locate the pipe where the dye is coming out of, we then dye test from top side through your vent pipe, which is connected to your curb trap and lateral. So hypothetically speaking, if we
No, don't do that.
Dye,
don't do that. Don't do that. Just stop right there.
好，稍等。是这样子，再说一次哈，就是说这个颜色这个留下来，然后我们就随着这个颜色去找，然后就追踪哈，这个颜色这个哪里流出来，然后我们一路找，是找到这个侧面这条款流出来的。
If I may, I just want to place an objection as to asked and answered several times.
Okay. So noted.
那我就反对哈，因为有的就是我们之前就已经回答过有的问题哈。
Mr. Lin, do you have any new questions?
林先生，你有没有什么新的问题要问呢？
我就是有新的问题，我就是说我不知道他这个方法为什么是会确定，我至今我不明白。他说他在下水道主管里面看到有染料的这个水，他从我的那个科出来那边灌进去，然后看到这个水流在这个管上，这只能说明 ，OK， 我的科出来跟 City 的这个下水道是相通的，而不能证明说，
好，稍等，
我这个下水道有什么问题？如果你看不到这个有染料的，
稍等。
Remind Mr. Lin that he's not supposed to give speeches.
先生哈，不要演讲哈，只问问题哈。
问问题啊。
Okay, yes. So basically, yes, it's new question. Still, how can you assure that problem is from my pipe because it's connected to the CD main sewer pipe? So how can you sure that's problem with
No.
I'm not sure how to answer the same question.
No, I'll answer it. I'll answer it. No. Shh. Mr. Lin, everything that you say has to be repeated by the interpreter. If you understand English well, then you don't need an interpreter. So use the interpreter. Now, I will respond to the last question, and that is this. The sewer crawlers, those individuals who work for the city's water department, they crawl down the pipe and they go to your address. They know exactly where the pipe is coming from your house, every house along the way. The dye is placed in the cave-in. That cave-in, the dye came out of your pipe. Now, if you don't believe us, hire your own plumber. As the homeowner, the property owner, that is your responsibility. We are not going to entertain any further questions on that. Anything else?
好，这样子哈，那就是如果你自己能讲英文，那你就自己讲，不用翻译哈。那我们就是刚才也说的，这个我们是有专门城市，就是这个市请的工人，有下面下水管这个地下爬，在下面爬，追踪到是这条管有问题那就是说，如果你认为不是我们这边就是你不相信的话，您可以自己去请一个水管工哈然后您作为一个房主，你有这个责任，你可以自己找一个水管工然后自己再去自己确认一下。
对，我决定我会去确认一下。 我一定会请一个人去确认一下，这是一个，因为我看到他送给我的通知里面
I have some questions and then we're going to move on, sir. Mr. Lin, have you hired a plumber who works to tell you whether or not there's a defect?
好，我想知道林先生，您有没有去请水管工来确认一下这个管道的缺损呢？
我准备去请，因为我想听他的解释，他能够给我一个合理的解释，我就不用请了。OK， 我如果认为他的解释符合逻辑的，我准备去请一个。
稍等。I'm about to hire a plumber because I just want to listen to the explanation first to ensure the explanation is logically. Then I will decide to get a plumber.
Okay. He should have done it earlier before the hearing because he made the appeal. He submitted the appeal. So it's his responsibility to submit information that he would want us to hear. And so that's his responsibility to get a plumber and to make the repair. If the plumber does not find that it's broken, then he should get back in touch with the water department.
Okay.
这样子哈，因为那个是这样子哈，因为这个是上诉，也就是说你要在上诉之前，你就要请这个水管工去确认这个事情，如果有问题，你可以修理，是要在聆讯上诉之前就要去做。
我想他给我合理的解释，我就不需要了吧，是不是？但是我能不能看得到？能不能看得到这张纸？
Okay, sorry. So I just want to make sure I got the logical explanation. Will you be able to see this piece of document?
No.
看不到。
OK. 那我就说看不到，那我就说我看到他们送给我的这个小 Outlook 里面就说其中有2张，它都有一个 radio number。一张的 radio number 呢是122，然后呢，另外一张呢 radio 号码是664，是不是
？OK， 再 clarify 潘晨，您不好意思哈，您说什么号码什么号码
？Radio number，
微定号码
RADIO。
radio， OK 好。
radio number，OK。number 我不知道，我英文不是很好我英文不好。这 radio 是不是我们说的就是雷达探测那种探测的仪器
？Okay, so I saw the the paper, the document that I received. It says radio number. So radio number 122 and radio number 664. Because my English is not good, I'm not sure is the radio same as radar?
No. That's the handheld radio that the staff communicate between each other.
不是的，这个是通话。比如说，他们有一个通讯，就是用这个手讲机对讲机，2个人一人拿一个对讲机，他们之间通话的。
Okay.
Now, what I think we've heard adequate amount of information. I'd ask Ms. Athanasiadis, representing the city, if she has any final comments.
好，那现在我们就是问一下这个代表市政府的安利迪亚的有没有什么问题？好，然后没有。
不是。
No. Ms. Athanasiadis.
Chairman Whitson, the city would just ask the board to consider Mr. Murphy credibly testified as to what the dye testing process is. Appellant has offered no.
You got to pause so she can catch up.
好，那现在就是根据这个 Murphy 先生的证词哈，根据他所的证实关于这个上诉。
Appellant has not presented any evidence to the contrary to refute the fact that his lateral is defective.
那这个房主呢没有提供证据来证明就是说关于这个就是说证据拿出来证明说您这条侧管没有损坏的，没有拿出来证据。
Property owners are responsible to maintain their laterals in good working order.
那这个房主需要负责任哈，关于这条侧管的一些就是说运作。
And as Mr. Murphy testified, it is a dangerous condition as there was a cave-in created and there are also other dangers with possible sewage backup into the property if this does not get repaired.
那这个 Murphy 先生的证词也证明说这条管道的缺损会比较有这个危险性存在哈，让这个也会有这个危险哈，造成比如说管道就是回流到这个防止地下室有这种风险。
Okay, thank you. If there's nothing else, no other questions from anyone, we will call the vote on this matter.
好，如果没有其他问题，那我们现在开始。
我现在收一些证据给你们。
I will show you the evidence.
OK.
Evidence of what?
什么证据啊？
我告诉你是这个样子的哈，他这个
Evidence of what?
你要说是拿什么做出来做证据？
就是说，假如说真的这个下水道有破 ，OK， 是 City 造成的 ，OK， 因为在我收到这个下水道有破损的这个通知之前几天，在这一条街上 ，OK，City 的 waterman 就说水管的主管破了 ，OK， 然后呢，整个街上，
好，稍等。
破了一个。
Okay, 稍等。So I mean, I would say the city caused because before I received the notice about the defect, there is something there is a broken main water pipe broken. It's I think it's a city caused the lateral defect.
因为 City 的
Okay, wait a minute. If the city caused the lateral defect, then you have the legal right to either to apply, actually to sue the city, take legal action against the city if it caused the break. But in the meantime, homeowners are responsible for the repair.
这样子哈，如果是城市这个市政府造成的这个管道的损坏那您可以就是向这个市政府这边去告他们法律方面可以去告他们但是这个期间呢房主对这个管道的缺损是要负责的。
Mr. Lin, also, is this your residence? Do you live at this address?
林先生，您是住在这个地址吗？
不是，是个出租的房子。
No, it's a rental house.
Okay. All right, thank you. If there's nothing else, we will call the vote on this matter.
好，谢谢哈，如果没有其他，我们就开始投票决定。
我跟他讲了，我有几个 picture 的话，我又送给他们看一下。
Like I say, I need to show you a few pictures.
Did he submit those? Where are the pictures and that he could show it on the screen? How is he showing this? And what are the pictures?
我 picture 我可以直接从电脑上收上去。
Man, you didn't interpret what I just said.
OK 那你这个怎么显示给我们看啊？您这个
我可以，我女儿在这边，她会帮我显示在屏幕上。
My daughter is here. She will be able to share the screen for me.
What are the pictures of?
是什么样的图片呢？
就是图片，然后先收上去，你们看一下，我来解释。
Okay, so just upload the picture, share the screen, and I will explain to you.
Tell me what the pictures are before you upload. I want to know what he's going to show us.
您上传之前先说一下这个图片是什么，因为我们想知道。
现在有一张图片看到没有？
还没有Have you seen one of the picture now?
I want to know what the pictures are about before I permit them to be shown.
OK.
那我同意稍等，我同意。那你上传这个图片之前，你要先说一下这个图片是什么。
OK， 这一张图片就是说是在我收到通知之前的大概几天嘛，大概几天，这条街上 City 的这个主水管破了，整个街道陷了一个很大的洞。 OK，
稍等，稍等，稍等，
这
稍等，稍等，稍等。So the picture shows before I received the the notice about the defect, there is a big hole, like collapse hole. There is a city main water pipe broken on the
就
street.
在就在我家的家门口。
Is it right in front of my property?
Okay. Two pictures. You can show
好
those two pictures.
好，
Two
那你给我
photographs.
们看一下2个照片哈，2个。
不止2个，有几张。
It's more than 2 pictures. There is several pictures.
Two
好，
pictures.
只能上传2张哈。
Two pictures.
两张
两张
这上传这张
Okay. Okay, Mr. Murphy, is that look familiar?
Murphy 先生，您看这条图片是熟悉吗？
Mr. Athanasiadis, is Mr. Murphy still with us?
Murphy 先生还在 Anastasia 女士 ，Murphy 还在线上吗？
I am here. My apologies.
Oh,
No, that
是的，
doesn't look familiar to me. In this case, it does look like the water department was doing some work out there.
Okay. All
我
right,
不
thank
熟
you.
悉哈，可能是这个水务局这边有派人做这些。
What is the next photograph? The next
好，
photograph.
下一张。
没有，就前面那张，就在这张不同的角度照的啊。
Same area, but with a different angle.
Okay. All right, thank you. Mr. Murphy, does that give you any additional information?
Murphy 先生，那这个额外的信息您现在有了吗？
It looks like it was backfilled by a city entity,
Okay.
particularly the water department.
是的，应该是市政府的这个水务局哈。
对的
Thank you.
所以
Thank you.
所以说我首
好，谢
先，
谢，谢谢。
所以说我首先又肯定，到底我的水管有没有破？那第二步呢？假如说我水管有破，那就是 city 造成的，因为我的
OK
水管从来没有
稍等
没有问题的。
好，稍等，稍等，稍等，稍等。So yeah, first of all, I just ensure that the defect is from my pipe. After I confirm it, and then I will say the city caused the issue because I have never had any problem with my pipe.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You can stop sharing the screen, please.
好，现在可以停止分享图片。
Okay. And I will say this before I call the vote, Ms. Interpreter. If Mr. Lin believes that the city damaged his lateral, he should call the water department and speak with them and seek help from his elected officials if he's not getting the response he deserves, and also call his claims office to place a claim against the city.
这样子哈，就是说林先生哈，那在这个投票之前，我想跟您说一下，如果您相信是这个市政府造成您这个侧管道的损坏的话那您就是要联系这个水务局哈，就是跟他们讲一下关于要向他报告关于这个理赔。
Okay, thank you very much. We will call the vote
好，现在我们开始投票。
on HA-2022-004618.
好，那现在是关于HA/2022-004618
1669 Granite Street.
地址是1669 Granite Street。
Ga Wen Len,
好，郭文林。
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
City affirmed.
城市都确认，市政府这边都确认。
Thank you very much. The vote is city affirmed. Your appeal was denied.
那这边都一致，就是说通过，就是说您这个上诉，是被否决的。
You may appeal our decision to Common Pleas Court. Call the office, and the administrator will give you the information you need if you need information as to how to submit that appeal.
Fine, so clarify. I'm sorry. Can you repeat what administrative?
License and inspections,
Okay.
board administration.
Okay.
They will give him information as to how to submit an appeal of our decision.
OK 那如果您对我们的决定要上诉的话您可以联系我们这个，就是说这个检测排管局这边可以去申请上诉，我们也可以这些资料给你，教你怎么去上诉。
就是说我们有多长时间可以上？他可以给我多长时间上诉
So like if there is a limitation date for the appeal.
I don't know. I believe it's 30 days, but Miss Athanasiadis, can you help me with that? What's the appeal?
我相信是30天，但是问一下安妮斯蒂亚的女士，到底是多少天的上诉？
Yes, Mr. Lin, you'll have 30 days.
Okay, 30 days from the date of the decision.
有决定这一天做出裁决这一天算起，给你30天的时间可以上诉。
OK 就说假如
We're done. We're done.
好，我们完成了哈。
Okay, have a good afternoon.
好，祝你有美好的下午。Is there
Thank
anything
you.
else, Interpreter Campion?
We're this is our last case. I think that's it for
Okay.
today.
Thank you for listening to our
Okay, thank
service.
you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay, if we could go to the breakout room for a minute.